Hello everybody, my name is Zaluna and welcome back to the channel. So I do know that I was trying to actually get a better recorder to make the sound audio better, so I apologize if the sound audio is still kind of quiet for this video. Unfortunately, my idea that I had did not work the way that I wanted it to. So as a result, I will be doing some more research on it to try and get a better sound audio. However, I did make a promise to someone that I was going to have this done by today. So therefore I need to get it done by today. So what we are doing today is a Moon Queen run, as I promised him that I would do. It's one of our viewers. I won't list his name if he doesn't want to be. He can say his own name in comments if he wants to have that. With that being said, let us get that started. Let's see here. So you probably will mainly only be seeing my eyes in that, because, I mean, we're looking at, I'm usually using an actual face cam in that, but originally what my idea was I was going to stream this to my computer, use my actual computer equipment to do it, but the screen recorder wasn't liking that as much. Where the hell is Moon Queen? There she is. And because of that, it made it very difficult to be able to do anything like that. Sorry about that, I was actually just taking a minute to set that back up, so sorry about the cut all of a sudden. Anyway, as for the tier list that the same person also asked for, I am also working on that. However, I am having to work at it from scratch, basically, because I didn't want it to be like, oh, let's base this off things I've done in the past with alphas and that, because some of these classes I haven't played since alpha because I just didn't like them. And some I don't have yet, as you see by me just going to jobs. You'll know some I don't even have yet because I just haven't spent the soul stones to get them. So it will take me a minute to get all of those classes back, and it will also take me a bit to be able to rate each and every class, but I am working towards getting them very quickly. And I mean, it's not going to take me that long. I mean, all I got to do is do a few runs and go to the Hall of Fame, like, I don't know, 5-6 times. Those will only take about a few hours each run. So, I mean, I can do that pretty quick. But with that said, that's basically all we got to do. I didn't get a dungeon recommendation, so what I'm basically going to be doing is just going back to Karma with this. We will probably won't be able to do Labyrinth today, because that's probably about all I have time for. I may have to watch my small cousin here in a little bit, so I'm trying to do this quickly. But I will be doing some more research over the next course of a couple days on how to get this sound audio to be better, because I am new to a lot of this, and I will also be trying to find out ways to get just all around this thing to work out better. Now this one may seem like a little bit odd, because those of you who know how this class works, it's not exactly going to be the most complicated class. I forgot how expensive playing Moon Queen is, since you don't use Kinton Gold, you use, what's it called? Red Eye or something like that. I wanted to leave that, damn it. Ah, well. No big ol' dealo. I think there may have been an update that I was unaware of. I don't have teleport either. This is gonna be not easy. So basically with Moon Queen, what's going on with her is she always is technically confused. So it makes it to where it's kind of more of an auto run more so than anything, which is why she's so powerful. She also always has the frenzy thing activated, which doubles HP and damage. And then you're looking, instead of using a one round confuse, it just uses left to right. Then you use red pupils so that you can gain a barrier each turn you're confused. So I mean, it makes her kinda stupid. And that's kind of why I throw divination on there, because you gain pursuit every single time you use an ability that doesn't just outright end your turn. Well, that's why it may seem like I'm just kind of sitting here just enjoying the show, because, I mean, to an extent, it's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, you really are, it's almost like you're training a pet to do what you want it to do. And that's why I don't really use it anymore. I mean, yeah, sure, I'll use it if, like, say I'm doing one of the event dungeons and so the end boss is pissing me off, then yeah, sure, I'll use the Moon Queen to try and go in there and just beat the crap out of it. But for the most part, you won't really see me using this class very much anymore. Or if I just feel like playing a Moon Queen for whatever reason, because every occasion, sure, I do like to play it, because it's kind of fun to watch it just go and pummel some stuff. Even though I did have a theory that I want to kind of test with this class at some point. It's going to basically be, do I need that? Where's my equipment? Equips. Let's see, barrier, HP boost, damage resist, damage resist. And then we have vitality. What's giving us vitality? Oh, we have it as a permanent effect. Awesome. that case, I can kind of afford to drop that then. Alright. Makes it easy. So you're wondering why I looked at Vitality. It's because Vitality basically makes it where my health percentage will increase with every turn, and with HP boost, it doubles that effect. So it makes it pretty easy to do it. You'll just gain more and more and more HP, and it's kind of ridiculous. Another thing on that tier list, by the way, another reason why I wanted to do it like that is because I didn't think it would be very fair to do a tier. Yeah, you're gonna see me kind of pacing around a bit here. It's kind of as I needed to do that every now and again. But anyway, about the tier list, one of the reasons why you may why it's taking longer is, as I said, I am reworking all of the other classes. I'm trying ones out I haven't played since Alpha while getting the other ones. But because I'm also running them in each dungeon to see what they're better at, I'm following a core set of rules. And those rules are basically, whenever I build a class, usually I use lab parts. I've used lab parts since I've been able to start using them. And even though, yes, that's kind of normal, at the same time, it does kind of affect a tier list. Alright, sorry for that cutout again. I mean, what we were doing is I was just moving the chair here towards the sunlight. That way it would be easier to see me, and it wouldn't kind of look as annoying. And I can kind of move the spin chair around here. And that way it kind of takes care of the whole itch I have to move around a little bit while playing. So as I was saying, basically, since I'm reworking it and everything like that, I'm having to replay all these different classes. And I didn't want to use like things like Eternal Dark as a lab part, because I mean, to me that kind of breaks it. Like, I mean, almost any class can run a re-rolling build and be just fine with Eternal Dark. Because at that point, I mean, all you're doing is you're just re-rolling a move over and over again, getting better and better and better equipment, and then you're just gaining all the legendary abilities. And I mean, let's face it, legendary abilities in this game are kind of ridiculous. So I mean, with that said, it kind of makes making a tier list kind of null and voided if you build it like that. So instead, what I opted to do is I'm running them with no lab parts, or if they need lab parts, like such as the Samurai, who is at a pretty big disadvantage without any lab parts, I'm kinda, I think the phrasing for it, I'm throwing on the ones that they necessarily need. Like maybe some extra HP, but I'm not doing anything that's ludicrous, like, oh hey, they're gaining gambling, alchemy, shit like that. No, I'm not doing that. Because even though, yes, the Samurai, for example, does typically need that, because, I mean, its kit kind of sucks. Skill level up whenever killing it, sure. Never use that. I swear this thing must have had a mini update, because some of these abilities are brand new. I've never ran into them before, so either I've just been very unlucky and never found them, or they're brand new, and my guess is they're brand new. Because, I mean, I play this game pretty regularly. I want that. I'm taking it. I know I shouldn't, but I'm taking it anyway. I need to stop doing that, because that's like spending way too many soul stones, and I need those to buy those other classes. Alright, well, we're just going to leave that because that costs soul stones, and then I think for now on the rest of this run I'm not going to do that. I wanted to kind of save some time on the timer, and that way this won't be no 40-minute video like the last one was. Even though, I mean, it kind of just depends on how fast the Moon Queen's able to actually kill stuff. I mean, the Moon Queen is a very solid class. The only issue with the Moon Queen that I personally have is, I mean, it's almost like you're watching a TV show. I mean, you're not the one controlling it. You're not the one making the decisions on what you're using. I have thought about using willpower to do it, and that's what I put on one of my red pupils, was willpower, because I'm kind of curious to see if that will work, and see if that will make it more powerful. But at the same time, I am kind of on the fence about that, because I wonder if it really will, or if it'll null and void its frenzy effect. I don't think it does, because willpower just makes you immune to confusion, but it might end up messing with the red pupil effect itself. I'm not sure, I haven't tested it yet, but I am going to be testing it when I'm doing the tier lists, just so I can find that out. Because, like, for example, this one, since it is better with red pupil, and red pupil is a contract you can constantly get, I will be using red pupil, at least I believe it is still. You can actually get it normally in the shop, and it's typically one of the most powerful things you can stake on a Moon Queen, solely because of those extra barriers, and the extra barriers just make you a ridiculous force to try and knock out. I think my best example of a Moon Queen was one I used to have that I was running. I can't remember what dungeon. I think it was still Labyrinth, but I could be wrong. And I was past floor 100, just killing things that were hundreds of levels higher than me in one shot, because I just had so many buffs. Even though I had almost no legendary equipment, the fact that I just had all these other things on top of me, it was stupid. That's just kind of how the Moon Queen is. She's kind of the new player's class. If you're new to the game, she is a very nice class to have, because, I mean, she kind of gives you the time to get used to it, see what's going on, kind of get a feel for what the classes are trying to do, and just overall seeing the kind of power levels you can reach. So if you're new to the game, I almost always recommend the Moon Queen, just because the Moon Queen, 1, she's fairly cheap. 2, she's a pretty powerful class. So if you actually want to go to, say, Karma, say you want to go to Karma, she's kind of your best bet to go to Karma with over, like, say, a priest or a warrior or a paladin. But if you don't want to spend the soul stones on her, I get it. I think she costs like 2,000 soul stones or something like that. And I apologize, you guys had to see me drinking stuff. It's just kind of need a drink, and I don't really think you need to do that many cutouts just to be able to take a drink. But more on that, I mean, as you can see just by watching the gameplay, I mean, I'm not even thinking. I just kind of started the fight. She does her thing, we're done. I mean, granted, I understand that she's not doing as much damage as my other units were, but that's just because I didn't ED her. I didn't use Eternal Dark, I used Divination. If I would've, yeah, sure, she could have been just as strong as, like, my other classes, but we didn't really want to do all that this time. And I forgot I was going to stop doing that. I'm so used to having Kinton Gold, so when I do it, it's kind of just like an automatic reaction. I just don't think about it. I mean, I don't really have to think about it. I'm used to just always having it. See, there I go again. I mean, I know I have the 2 rerolls without having to spend soul stones, but most time I'm always spinning all 10 times because I have Kinton Gold. And that's typically why I use Kinton Gold, because it doesn't cost soul stones to reroll, so I can just save it all for buying things from, like, that vendor guy when he pops up. Sometimes I'll buy a legendary equipment off of him. I also use it just to buy classes and stuff like that, so... Or even just other lab parts, like, for example, if it wasn't for me trying to save them, I normally would go and buy this, because Swordmaster is a really nice sword. But given what we have to work with, we don't want to do that because that puts me down to 500 soul stones, and then I have a whole extra run to do because typically you'll earn about 2,000 off of a single run to the Hall of Fame, and if you don't know how to make it there, you basically just have to get to floor 100 and beat it. So if you can beat floor 100, you make it to the Hall of Fame. It does technically kill off the character, but in return, oh, I don't know what that was. I wanted to read that. Okay, never mind. Fuck me. Anyway, basically you will you basically will kill yourself off. You'll gain a bunch of fragments of death, or you'll gain a bunch of soul stones as well, usually about 2,000-3,000. If you make it in like the extreme dungeons, I think it increases to like 4,000 if I remember right. And I'm not actually 100% sure if wealth increases that. I think it used to, but I think they changed that. So that could be wrong. And this guy just don't want to die, does he? This may be a wild fight if we're only like going to be dealing 7 damage to this dude over here. Yeah, we're gonna be here in a minute. Alright, well, hopefully you enjoy watching this kind of fight, because, I mean, this is an example of the Moon Queen. You really can, like other classes, I'd have ways to stop and get around this to an extent, and kind of just hold off on an attack, and just kind of leave him be, so that his damage reduce goes away, but, I mean, with a Moon Queen, you don't have that option. I mean, with the Moon Queen, you're almost always just running buff, 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 and then your big bad attack. That's why I said I'm probably not supposed to use Sword Dance. I just want to because I like Sword Dance. It's one of my favorite moves. It kind of reminds me of the dancers from things like Dark Souls and that. Oh man, you do not want to die, my friend, do you? I am liking that growing ability, though. That makes leveling up abilities even easier than getting Blasphemous Curse. But obviously finding it's kind of going to be hell. I mean, on a tier list front for Labyrinth, I think that one might be a bit harder to make, just solely due to almost any class you can use in Labyrinth and get away with it. As far as lab parts go, you don't need any specific lab parts. I mean, there's nothing affecting you. There's no bad effects or anything like that, so anything you put on you is just nothing but a bonus. Yeah, there's obviously better things you can place than others. Like, for example, if you're an archer, throwing on Frenzy probably isn't going to help you unless you have willpower to go with it. But yeah, like, you can throw on an HP plus 50, or you can do like an HP percentage plus 50%, or divination, or whatever the hell you really want to do, and you really won't take a negative, because there's nothing to negative. I mean, there's nothing you're having to defend against. Whereas in other dungeons, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, I think it's Hell. Hell, you basically have, every time you kill a boss, you gain cooldowns, so taking things that increase your cooldown, like ninjutsu, isn't something that I usually do. But then stuff like haste and Godspeed, I usually like to take, because with those two, it just lowers down my cooldowns very quickly, because you're lowering it down by roughly about 2 every single turn. Yes, I did get rid of my Godspeed lab heart, so I usually have to take, what's it called? Eternal Dark, and then just absorb it. So that's kind of what I do now, because ever since I got Eternal Dark, it opened up a lot of space for other lab parts, because since you are limited in your lab part section unless you buy more space, which I have increased my space a bit, both through paying for it and through just earning the gold shards now, because you can do that in the events. You didn't used to be able to, but you can. The hell is that? Well, that's ass. I don't want that on a Moon Queen. Well, thanks, I guess. That's gonna do me no good, because, I mean, the heal over time is almost null and void on a Moon Queen, but whatever, we're gaining HP every time we do something, so I guess it really don't matter. So this sounds like a little disheartened video I'm making. I'm not meaning to be. My voice just tone just normally doesn't change all that much unless I really struggle to do so. And seeing as I couldn't get my equipment to work, I am a little bit disappointed in that because I know that this is going to be another bad quality video, and I hate it. I hate posting videos when they don't have the proper quality that I like to have. I know I don't have the top end line equipment that some of your other YouTubers have, but I at least try and make it at least a decent quality. And I have a decent microphone and stuff, but it can't go on the phone because the phone obviously doesn't have a USB cable. And I can't really just go to the TV and do it because, I mean, there's not a microphone I can just set up to my TV. So it kind of means that I have to have my PC equipment, and I'm trying to find a way to get it to go to the PC while still being able to have the webcam up and everything else, and keeping the quality pretty decent, and use my microphone I usually have on my computer, because on my computer I use a pretty decent microphone that a friend gave me. And when it comes to this, I can't obviously use that. I've used my phone microphone, which for whatever reason just really sucks. And then I also have to use my phone camera, but I have to be able to read things, and with my glasses on, I don't have to be closer to the screen. So it kind of just, it's a snowball effect, basically. One issue leads to the next, and then the next, and then the next, until you kind of get what you have right now. Hi, self-harm, how's it going? We don't want you right now, because I'm not using Eternal Dark. I mean, am I expecting you guys to watch most of this video? Probably not. If you guys do end up making the end, I mean, thank you for actually watching, even if you made it this far. I mean, this is like already 24, 25 minutes into the video, most likely after I edit it down. But, I mean, for the most part, I'm not expecting most of this to be watched, because, I mean, all you're doing is just hearing me kind of ramble on, trying to find something to talk about, while, you know, we watch our Moon Queen here just completely decimate anything and everything in her way. Because, I mean, there's nothing for me to have to think about. The only thing I have to think about is, do I want to re-rolled, or do I want this to be what I use? I just kind of have to think about the systematic events in which she does things. I don't really have to think about anything else. So, I mean, when it comes to her, you don't even have to have half the re-rolls in that you need for the other classes. Because she doesn't even really need legendary equipment to even be on par with the other guys. Because she's just so ridiculously strong. I mean, it may not seem like that just based on the numbers you guys are seeing me do as damage, but I mean, that's just kind of because I'm not going all out on the re-rolls. Typically, she still can end up pretty strong. Now, we're just going to use that for shits and giggles to see if we can boost the damage very much. Oh, yeah, that helped. But, I mean, with that said, as you can see, this Ancient King is going to die like he's just a tiny little baby, and it ain't going to matter. And that is floor 10. And there we go, we will... Well, never mind, I guess I'm not going to cover, because I don't have a character slot, because I have my Valkyrie, and then I had one that I was screwing around with, and then I obviously have the stuff I'm doing for the tier list. So never mind, I guess I can't take this class to Karma. But that's okay. So I guess with that said, we won't be taking her to Karma, but if you do want to see one at Karma, I will be happy to rebuild a new one when I actually have a slot available. So with that said, if you guys did enjoy the video, I'd be really grateful if you left a like and shared it with your friends, and even subscribed if you're new around here. I will try and actually get this quality better for the next video, especially for that tier list, because I don't want to have to do another Killing Floor gameplay just to throw and slap my Buriedmourne stuff over it. I think that's pretty ill-serviced to the game, because, I mean, Buriedmourne is a very solid game. The only problem that I kind of find when doing that is, I remember trying to do a lot of this before, and I ran into the same issue, that the stuff that the computer comes with for phone syncing, it just doesn't work out very well. So I tried it again, but I was trying out some different methods with it, and it still just wasn't having it. So I'm probably going to have to research it, find some other applications, possibly premium ones that I may have to end up buying, and then actually trying those out. I mean, if you guys know of any way, I'm kind of new to a lot of this. So if you know ways where I can actually improve the sound quality or even the video quality without having to do all that, I would really appreciate any advice you guys have for me. With that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. The next video will probably be a stream over PlayStation with some friends. We're going to probably be doing some Smite games, or, you know, maybe we'll even do some Modern Warfare. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'll find out from them, and then we will be putting it up. If you have any recommendations for videos, let me know, because I'm more than happy to do them. I mean, hell, only one guy requested this, and I made it. So, I mean, yeah, I will pretty much make whatever kind of videos you guys want me to make. With that said, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.